I remember getting a call from my agent saying that Jon Favreau wants to meet you regarding a Star Wars project. And so I immediately said, you know, when and where. I wanted to meet Jon Favreau. I didn't care what he wanted me to do.
As an actor, when you step into something and you get a chance to work with someone who is talented in front of and behind the camera, and who really understands, first of all, the process of making the project, the movie or television, whatever it is, there is someone that you can feel comfortable with talking to, because the language he understands, you know? And so any thoughts, ideas, questions, bemusements, whatever it is that you have, you know, he really will engage.
Star Wars was a big influence on me because it came out in '77. I was born in '66. So I was right at the right age for that thing to hit. And it was before all the hype. Before then it was still the 70s, you know, it was 70s movies.
The Mandalorian, whose name is Din Djarin, is your iconically cool, flawed, mysterious, loner, gunslinger that harkens to the, best of the samurai movies and the westerns.
My character, Grief, which is an interesting name, 2 E's, not an I in an E, but he's, in my opinion, a businessman. And so Grief, in this particular story, among others, hires the Mandalorian to go out and bring back a bounty. And the bounty is worth quite a bit more, I think, than even Grief knew in the beginning.
The show, to me, in the most basic storyline, is about a man who's been following a way of life and has that way of life sort of upended by the introduction of the baby. And it sort of changes his life, and I think he's reevaluating his priorities and what means something to him in his life in the world. So I think it's really sort of about a man discovering something about himself that he had never known until he met the child.
There are such universal themes in the Star Wars stories, and ironically, I think people feel that it, despite being fantasy, science fiction, it reflects the world we actually live in its inclusiveness and diversity and conflict.
I think Star Wars is such a part of people's lives, and it's something that they just see now on a regular basis, that when you say George Lucas and he created it, I don't think people give enough full value to what that means. I like to think I do, but I worked with him, so I've seen him create it. I've seen the person that comes up with the lines and the dialogue and understands Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker in a very deep level, because those characters are a part of him.
We wouldn't be able to do this show without Dave Filoni. I think he is the truest lover of the material. We can all try to compete to his level of love, is just the best word for it, for the world of Star Wars. And we would all lose against him.
I felt privileged to be a part of telling the story. I felt grateful that I got to do it with George.